Welcome to the Nagual Zone. I am Anaam, and today we are talking about the magic bullet. The magic bullet. What is this magic bullet that warriors have used throughout the ages, at all manner of difficult times, the world wars, according to the white man? The whole world was not involved, but white people were involved and involved everyone else in their wars, called the two world wars. Well before that, the white people invading what is now called America, and totally, we know the history of that one. Australia, same thing. In all these regions, warriors existed. In Latin America, warriors existed. Everywhere, Siberia, Rus or Russia, everywhere. And in difficult times, burning women because of white superstition nonsense. And white is a mentality. India had the same nonsense going on against women. All those times, warriors, men, women, they used this one guiding star, this one principle. Because when times really, it's not personal times when they get tough. You know, you're poor, or you lost a lot of money, or mother, father died, or you lost your arms and legs, or you're paralyzed, whatever. Individual tough times are very different than collective tough times, right? Because collective tough times means you don't have a say in it. It's like surfing a storm in the sea, or trying to navigate with your little boat. A storm in the sea, there's nothing you can do about it. You can't conjure it away. You can't wish it away. You can't manifest and law of attraction and Abraham Hicks, and you can't do any of that. It's happening, and it's happening to you and millions of others. So in those times, it is extremely easy to lose footing. Extremely easy, because everyone else is panicking. Everyone else is, running here and there like headless chickens. And it's extremely easy to follow that herd at that point, the stampeding herd. Warriors, on the other hand, prize sobriety, pragmatic strategy, and efficient energy flow. In order to create this level of flow in their life, in times when the confusion has gone up, 100 times than normal times, warriors employ this most useful principle, most useful. And it's a very tough word. It's a very tough word to grasp. I guarantee you this. I'm going on record right now on YouTube. I guarantee you this, that what is the population now? 8 billion, 6 billion, whatever it is. 99.999999999 ad infinitum percentage of those humans have no clue. None, zero, nada. No clue. Literally no clue what this word actually means in functional living. Some of you may already guessed this word, but I'll give it to you. It's called conscience. Conscience. When the going gets tough, the warriors guide themselves from their conscience. Conscience can be suppressed, but you can't debate it. You can't argue against it. You can't rationalize it. You can't give facts to your conscience. People do all this in order to suppress it, but it's a non-negotiable force within you. It's non-negotiable. You can faff about and suppress it, or you can go with it. That's it. You can't say, Okay, I acknowledge that my conscience is saying, but I'll do it next month. You can't do that. Oh, I'm waiting to grow into a warrior. And then just like I heard in Anaam's video, then I should follow my conscience. It doesn't work like that, right? You can't negotiate with your bullshit with your conscience. And conscience is very close to its awareness. It's the functional side of awareness. There's a reason why I can confidently sit here and tell you that 99.99% of humans, everyone's heard of this word. In a room of 100 people, a TED talk, right? You go up and you're the big shot speaker and you go, yeah, who has heard here of conscience? Everyone will raise their hands up, feeling really great about themselves already, like dogs, like me. Secondly, if you ask them, who lives according to their conscience? All those hands will go down. If anyone's kept their hand up, either they're lying to themselves, which is most likely the case, or they are so deluded about themselves that the gap between where they really are and where they think they are has reached the point of literally kind of insanity, right? 100 people in that room, 100 attendees, if they were really honest with themselves, brutally honest with themselves, they put their hands down. It's the same question that was asked, he who has not sinned, let ye cast the first stone, or whatever the stupid medieval language white people have conjured up to make everything difficult. It's the same principle. Conscience. That is directly talking about conscience. He who has not betrayed their conscience ever, yeah, you can stone this woman to death. Fortunately, at least in this fictional account, it's an amalgamation of folklore from around the world, literally provable fact. The crowd then disperses because they all are obviously brutally honest with themselves, and no one follows through with the stoning of this woman. We all know, if you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up on Google. For warriors, conscience is most useful, especially in times when conscience is most rare. It makes warriors very dangerous. Very dangerous. Now, here's where I will tell you the real insider stuff from this point on. I had a call with my apprentices just today, and we were discussing this. Conscience has two angles that two paths you can take with conscience. One of them is hardcore conscience living, just hardcore. You're not going to budge. You're the conscience person. You just like, right? And you live your life according to that. And it's just like warriors. And that way of living, completely 110% according to your conscience, is extremely powerful. Maybe for humans, the most powerful way to exist, known to man, known to humans. There's no more powerful way to live than to 110% live according to your conscience. It'll afford you personal power of the kind that you can barely imagine right now. The kind that Malcolm X knew about, the kind that I will not name, the stupids who are glorified by the matrix, which flips everything around, the stupids like Gandhi and Mandela. And these are all pigeons. These are all what do you call them? Stooges, the planted stooges, so that the Matrix can create a whole story around them, sell them to you. And you, oh yeah, Gandhi, the man of peace. He was a most insidious manipulator and a bad deal. Bad deal. That man was bad news. Same with Mandela. Uh, the black people hail this guy. What's it? Martin Luther King. Same. These are all plants, stooges of the Matrix. You really start looking closely at them, you start seeing, aha, all is not what was reported to me by the white man about these people. And it's always the white man weaving stories around these people to present them as your champions. They were neither your champions, nothing about them was these people was any good. We do have people like Malcolm X. We do have people like Khalid Muhammad, and countless others. Most of them, history does not acknowledge at all. We don't even know what their names were, all this kind of stuff. They knew of the power that conscience bestows, living according to your conscience. We're talking that level, right? A lot of Paralympics, where their legs are cut off and they're still running the 100 meters and winning the gold medal. These people know about conscience because they have to go against everything, that is even life evidence. And they overcome and they follow their conscience. I have to do this. I know I must run. Or people who, that kind of stuff. But really, it's people who really follow their conscience, they become people like Malcolm X and all these kind of guys. Stephen Biko, I believe. Check out this name. There was a movie by Denzel Washington done in the 80s, 1987, I believe. I forget the name. He played the part of a South African black man called Stephen Biko, or Biko, I think. Yeah, Nelson Mandela has nothing on this chap. You want to know about this guy? That's conscience, by the way. But warriors shy away from that level of power because it manifests in ways that are not useful for warriors. You see, warriors, in order to escape and find freedom, not escape, but in order to make their bid for freedom from this prison, prefer tactics of fading away quietly. Just fade away. No one needs to know you even existed. You did your work and you're gone. Finished. This level of power absolutely attracts Sauron's eye. Sauron's eye will fix on you. And that level of power, you will get killed. You will. Every time, guaranteed. You just don't cross the matrix that way. The matrix will kill you many times in most painful ways. This is not useful for warriors. There's no freedom to be found there. You made a mark upon history or whatever with your conscience, and it's all very good, and generations later are hailing you and being inspired by you and all your good works. Okay, well and good. But warriors are not interested in any of that. Is this useful for me to make my bid for my personal freedom? If the warrior comes up with the answer that level of conscience is, yes, going to provide that for me, then by all means go ahead. There has been no Toltec warrior so far who has used conscience in that way to get come face to face with the eye of Sauron. Cry freedom. Thank you, Jan. Thank you. Cry freedom. If you watch one movie, please, I beg you, watch this movie. First of all, Denzel Washington's done an outstanding job in it. Secondly, the movie has been well made, and it will introduce you to a most remarkable man called Stephen Biko. Anyway, that way, very few people can have the guts and the righteousness to process that level of personal power flowing through them like crazy. They're like generate like dynamos of this absolutely incredible goddess power flowing through them. In Hindi, we have a word called Shakti. So much Shakti flowing through them. They make this incredible impact on the world. Like an atom bomb's gone off, right? And then the impact rings for generations to come. Unfortunately and sadly, it's useless for the warriors. Warriors prefer to be guided by conscience, but in a really quiet way. Hey man, the world is going to rat shit. Let them go to rat shit. It's none of my concern. I'm not here to save anyone. I'm no one's Jesus Christ. I don't care if these people kill themselves. I'm here simply to remove myself from the equation. That's all I'm here for. The moment you get into saving the world and causes and political this and rampage and rallies and blah, 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 blah. The moment you get into that, for the sake of saving the world or, whatever reasons, you can either be doing that or you can be working towards your freedom. You can't have the two. I didn't make this up. That's the way it is. Can't have the two. Okay? Can't have the two. You can either be doing that, nothing wrong with it, no shame in it. It's absolutely fantastic. Or you can quietly live according to your conscience, but in a way that doesn't create ripples and fade out. Finished. No one needs to know you even were here. Warriors prefer that way. Really, very heavily prefer that way. Because this way, it's too much power, too quickly, and you will be killed. It's a dead end. You will be killed. It's just no other way. There's no outcome. No one lived, only if the matrix allows you to live, you live with that level of power flowing through you, right? So this is the buzzword at this time that I urge you to really contemplate. Start aligning your moods. I did not say actions. I did not say thoughts, feelings, and emotions, blah, blah. Your moods. Start aligning your mood every day. What mood am I in? The mood of a warrior has conscience, an active conscience inbuilt in it. An active and healthy conscience built in it. The mood of a warrior who acts according to truthfulness and conscience. And that affords the warrior the requisite amount of personal power that the warrior needs to navigate herself without getting stripped of dignity and her spirit being leached out of her due to not acting according to her conscience, right? And her dignity is not compromised. Her self-respect is not compromised. Conscience is a firewall to these very delicate attributes. Very delicate. It takes this to strip you of dignity. One cheap move on your part in life, one whoring, one prostitution decision, and your entire dignity is stripped from you. One moment of prostitution in your life will strip you of that. And you know what I mean by prostitution. Yeah. These are delicate attributes. You want to preserve them literally at all costs. Self-respect. And your conscience guides these things. The reason why everyone's conscience is not active or working or functional at all, and has never been, will never be, I promise you, there's no golden age coming. Conscience, there's nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. All you can do is fuck off from here. That's what you can do. That's all you can manage. I'm telling you this right now. There's no golden age coming to save you. Nothing's going to happen. Nothing is going to happen. Right? So get that bullshit out of your head. It'll keep you pining away for some future glory, the coming of Christ. It's all the same shit. The age of Aquarius, the coming of Christ, the second coming. It's all the same hoping and wishing for nonsense to happen, which never happens. Every 100 years, there's rallies. This will be the time. 2012 it's come and gone. Nothing ever happens. But people just need, because there's no conscience, there's no personal power, nothing's happening. These are bored people, bored zombies, right? The reason why conscience is not active is because there's a force within you implanted from outside that is constantly working to suppress it actively and give you cheaper options, give you better deals, sales. It's a sale is on, everything must go. Or you can really, your conscience is very expensive, right? Costs a lot of energy, so much hassle. The cheaper deals right here. Oh, there you go. See, easy. Just compromise your conscience. It's easy, right? Yeah, it is easy. Conscience is expensive, but it affords rewards which are only for the elite humans. And I don't mean the bullshit elite that people refer to. I mean the humans who have done the work in themselves. The rewards of conscience are reserved for them. The rewards of conscience are reserved for them. From the earliest time, the Matrix makes sure that the little human is, remember we talked about emphasis, how the predator, the parasite operates on a principle of emphasis. What do I emphasize? So it de-emphasizes conscience and emphasizes remembering who won Alexander the Great, and dates of Churchill won this, and the capital of USA is Washington, and just bullshit that you can learn in one day. When you're grown up, you can learn all this in one day, or when you 10 years old, 15 years old, just learn all this shit 1 or 2 days and be done with it. But from right early on, it's stuffed in you. No school will ever teach you about conscience. Never. Because they themselves don't know anything about it. An indoctrination camp, a labor camp for children, cannot teach you about conscience. Parents who are a result of those same indoctrination labor camps, you think they can teach you about conscience? No. Everyone around you, when you were growing up, was a result of the same generational labor camps, indoctrination camps. Generational. You think they'll teach you about conscience? These people have no clue themselves. So you have today. You can look around, you can see. That's why today is a result of a consequence of such ignorance. What is the functional side of living through conscience? That's where it gets difficult, because I can't tell you that. Here, you must give yourself permission to make mistakes. It's the best advice I can give you, maybe anyone can give you. You must give yourself permission to make mistakes. Yeah, I know, I'll fall down, I'll compromise my conscience again and again over cheap shit, second-rate, third-rate solutions. But I'm practicing. I'm doing my best. I'm practicing. I'm practicing. I'm practicing. My conscience muscles are coming alive. I'm practicing. Can you give a practical example of building conscience into our mood? Fantastic. You know what? Let's answer this in the Q&A. So the talk ends here. Let's move into Q&A and then I'll tackle that.